It's another Fulbright Friday here with your co-hosts LP and LT. How you doing, LP?
I'm doing well. How's it going, LT?
It's okay. I mean,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those weeks where, like, you've had a holiday, but it doesn't really feel like a holiday because it was on a Wednesday.
That's true. It's kind of like a letdown.
It is a letdown because it's like.
What do you do with a Wednesday?
What do you do with a Wednesday? I mean, if Thursday or Tuesday, you can usually like roll it out into one of the other weekends, but Wednesdays are really hard.
Yeah.
So I didn't do much.
Yeah. Just like hang out and
so it didn't feel like the holidays.
But fireworks happen all the other time, so it's not like that's particularly unique either.
I know. I'm just really not into. Some holidays are much better than others, you know? Like, okay, what's your favorite holiday?
Not Halloween.
Really?
Halloween is probably like my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Which is weird because...
That is weird. Like, why?
I mean, like, I think after you're a kid, like, when you get your candy, like, that's really exciting.
Oh, you don't have kids. It comes back. When you have kids...
you can, like, sneak some of their candy.
Not sneak, it's a candy tax.
Oh, okay.
Like, you get something.
You're like, I'm getting my peanut M&Ms. Yeah.
Absolutely. You get the, like, bit of honeys or whatever. They don't know.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you deprive them of sweets and don't give it to them, like, when they get something crappy. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, I got the candy. So, no.
Right.
They don't even know Snickers exists.
Just like the thought of being gifted something is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. We let you have one piece of your Halloween candy.
And what's your best Halloween costume?
Well, this is tough because Halloween costumes take a lot of time and effort. And once you set the bar high, it's really hard because then you have
just
to
give up. You're like,
I know,
that was the best.
This is maybe why you don't like Halloween anymore. Maybe you tapped out on your costumes.
That's true, yeah.
But what was your best costume you've ever done?
Well, I like group costumes, so I think one of my... What was
that?
What was
I'm just
eye
like,
roll?
Oh, my eye roll was like, oh, I like wish I had friends. I can't do group costumes because it's just like me and my conscripted friends, which are my family. Like, they have to be my friend.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a big enough friend set to like do Scooby-Doo.
But it's not like, I don't like do elaborate things. I like the simplicity of certain costumes. So like one of my best, like just like spur of the moment decisions was to do rock, paper, scissors, where I was scissors, someone was rock, and someone was paper.
How did you go with scissors?
What do you mean? Because I was sitting at my desk and I saw scissors.
No,
and I was like,
I should go as scissors.
Oh, it was great. So I had like tights that were gray.
Okay.
And then I made the handles.
Yeah.
And then, which looks great. And then if you do like jumping jacks, then it looks like you're, you know, actually actively being scissors.
I wouldn't want to be paper because then how do you like move around the party? Because clearly you're like a...
Yeah, you're kind of like... Yeah. So. And rock, you're just kind of like...
Yeah. So that's fun.
Just dressed in gray, yeah.
So paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it's the simplicity in that probably makes it really, like, interesting. No, my greatest Halloween costume that I ever went as a couple theme. I went as Margot Tenenbaum, and Kieran went as Richie Tenenbaum from the Tenenbaums. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still, like, group. You have friends with your husband.
Yeah. I mean, might have to be always friend and roommate.
Yeah. It's lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy early Halloween. All right. It's time to take it to LP, who's currently in the social media room, to hear from our fans with their questions.
Thank you, LT. I'm here in our second green room, here with a tweet from Tanya Mortison, who asks, how do I manage my time leading up to the deadlines that I've been hearing about?
Oh, that's a really good question. A really good question. Okay, so I think there's a couple of things that would be helpful to talk about as it relates to time management. First are the deadlines. This can kind of help you orient developing a schedule or organizing your time by thinking through, one, having a really good working draft of both your statement of grant purpose and your personal statement by August 1st. Why August 1st when the internal deadline is actually September 1st? Well, that's because as we proceed into the summer through August, our time and our feedback, our interest in getting feedback, or applicants' interest in getting feedback from your advisors tends to increase. We have a lot of people that seem to want to get writing feedback in that kind of month. So we put a pretty hard deadline of August 1st is the time by which you need to have sent your essays into Fulbright@georgetown.edu and have signed up with one of us to get feedback, so that you actually secure and are guaranteed to get feedback on the writing. As we get closer to September, a lot of people then express interest in having feedback on their drafts, and we just don't have time. It gets pretty crunched in August. So You want to have your drafts in to Fulbright@georgetown.edu and have signed up with an appointment by August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're looking at September 1st as the deadline by which all of the components are necessary.
And a first draft is never good. So unless
Never.
you're just amazing, which I've never met
No,
anyone who can
never
make
met
a-
it.
Yeah, never met anyone like
That's
that.
a unicorn.
That's a unicorn, especially unicorn. So taking that into account, knowing that you'll have to do several drafts, making sure that you're managing your time so that you would have those drafts ready to go.
Mm-hmm. What else would be helpful for time management?
Also, thinking about, if you haven't already, who your 3 recommendation letter writers are, or 3 references. It would be a good idea to have those preliminary discussions with them now. Perhaps hold off on actually registering them in the system, so that you have time to write those initial drafts of your statement, so you can provide them to your letter writers and references, so they have like that basis for going off of when they're writing their own materials.
Yeah, so you should probably at this point in time have identified who's going to be recommending or referring you, and have had an initial ask saying, I would like for you to recommend me for this Fulbright application. I will be registering you in the system, in which you will receive a link where you can complete the process of recommending or referring me, but I won't be registering you in the system until later, after I've had a chance to send you a draft of my written components, the essays. All right, 2 good things, the
Sounds
deadlines
great. Those are 2 tips.
where you should be.
Great.
Hello, it's time for Hot Tips and Country Highlights. Woohoo! Hot Tips, Country Highlights.
Do we have a jingle?
No, we don't have a jingle, so we'll skip that part.
Okay, so where should we go?
Where should we go?
We're doing this.
Yeah,
That
close your
worked real
eyes. Whoop, nope. Close your eyes. Where are we going?
Oh, it's Israel.
Okay. Yay!
Israel, yay! So with Israel, it's important to remember 664.
Why?
6. I'm going to tell them.
Yeah, I know.
6 independent research grants, 6 new master's degree grants, and 4 ETA grants.
Okay, so you should be particularly mindful of the opportunities that are available to you in Israel. The new grants, the master's degree awards, are tenable in 6 different disciplines at 2 different institutions, one at Tel Aviv University and the other at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. So these would be awards that would be taught in English, and if you're interested in one of the disciplines, everything from conflict resolution to Middle East studies to environmental studies, you should check those awards out. They're new, which means
Definitely.
they're probably going to be underapplied to in this
Brand
first year.
spanking new.
Anything else to
Anything else
know?
you want to say?
ETAs? There's oftentimes interest in ETAs
Yeah.
in Israel.
ETA, you would be teaching at a higher level. So basically universities, people who have like English language backgrounds, or maybe like majored in English, for instance, and have an interest in teaching about American culture might be particularly well suited for these kinds of grants. And also having an intermediate knowledge of Hebrew or Arabic.
Yeah, so maybe if you're out there thinking like, oh, I'd like to do the ETA in Jordan or Morocco, and you have Arabic, and you haven't considered Israel, that may be one
That
to
can be a
also
good fit.
put on your list.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yay! It is our Fulbright fan club
Time.
question
Here we
time.
go. All right, keep sending your questions in. Thank you for those of you who have sent in your questions. Oh, yeah. This one, you may have had this happen recently in your trip to China. What's the worst thing you've eaten out of politeness?
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
What is the worst thing I've eaten out of politeness? Well, I would never eat a bug. So like, let me just put that out there right there.
Yeah. So like, even if...
This is why I could never do Survivor, because one of the challenges was like eating a tarantula, and I would never eat a
Yeah,
tarantula.
I've got a gag reflex situation. It's
I
just
know.
like...
Well,
it's
even
just,
watching people do it.
Like right now you said that and I'm like, yeah. I
Yeah.
could feel the, like... I don't know. I think it's tough. Like, this isn't... I'm not going to have like the one thing, but... My grandmother is not, I know what it is, but my grandmother's not a great cook. Like everybody has these grandparents that are like, oh, really good.
Yeah.
Mine was not. So my grandmother thought it was really novel for like a good solid several years to take what, she bought like one of these things online called a quesadilla maker, which is basically
Why would
just
you
like...
need to buy a quesadilla maker?
That's a really good question. That's the first part of this. The second part was, instead of making like a quesadilla, which would be fine if she just put the tortilla and the cheese and whatever.
Right.
But what she would do is she would put like sliced deli meat and relish in it.
Oh.
Then make the quesadilla. It was like a sandwich quesadilla. It was
Ugh.
horrible. But like she made it and she loved that freaking quesadilla maker, so I was
and like watch you eat it to make sure you were having
no, but like, you know, you would just sit there and be like, oh great, yeah, I'll eat it because you've made it, and that is just no. So that's probably and I had to eat that over and over again, because then once you start eating it, she thinks you like it.
See, I can remember a turning point where I realized I needed to eat things out of politeness.
Oh.
Because back when I was like 4, this is like one of those, I think, childhood memories that are like kind of traumatic you remember.
You refused something?
Yeah, no, I had this friend. We probably weren't friends after that because I don't really remember what happened later. But I would go over and they would serve me salted carrots. And that to me was just disgusting.
What? But that is liberties, taking liberties to like, salt somebody's food, though.
Yeah.
Was it like cooked carrots that were
salted? No,
salted?
it was like raw carrots they would salt. And so I didn't want to eat salted carrots. So when this little friend of mine came to come over and get me to come play, I hid because my mom couldn't find me.
Yeah.
And then afterwards she had to sit me down and be like, if you don't want to eat salted carrots, like
just say no thank you.
Say no thank you, or eat them and like it'll be fine.
Instead of running and hiding.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good life advice.
It's a good life lesson.
Yeah. Don't hide from
salted carrots.
You heard it here first, people.